Hey everyone, welcome to today's practice. This is day 11 of our 365 days of yoga. I'm going to start in the lying down position so that you feel supported with your lower back. Legs are bent, and we're just going to set our intention while we're in this relaxed state and taking a few deep breaths in. So I came into this session today with some lower back pain, and by the time I finished, I was pain-free. So I hope that you experience the same. So just keeping the back flat, just rotating the legs around in a circle movement. Just going in one direction and then back in the other direction. And then pulling the legs apart, taking them wide, and then meeting them again in the middle. So taking each knee in a circular motion in the opposite direction. And just making sure you're maintaining your breath work through these movements. Just placing both feet back onto the floor, palms facing down. We're just going to settle in for a couple of rounds of breath. And now what we're doing is we are going to tuck the pelvis up and then take it back to the earth as we lift our chest towards the sky, getting a bit of a gap underneath our lower back as we tilt our pelvis up towards our face, lowering it back down, then creating this arch in the lower back, and then placing it back down to the mat. Just going to roll through this a couple of times. If there's too much pain, just pull back and just maintain the contact with the earth until we change poses. Then taking the feet wide, we're just going to windmill the legs side to side just to get a bit of a twist in that lower back area. Just trying to unlock any stiffness, tightness that's feeling through there. And tucking the knees up, I'm just going to grab our legs below their hamstrings and just rocking. If this doesn't feel good, don't worry about doing the rocking motion. Just come up into tabletop position and feel free to roll through some cat-cows here if you want to. Otherwise, getting that neutral spine before bringing the left foot up between the hands, then taking it to the outside of the mat. Then coming into this low lunge. If you have a block or a book, you can bring the hands up a little bit, or you can stay here with the palms on the mat or come up onto fingertips. We want to get this beautiful stretch through the pelvis just to unlock the hips, which can often be the cause of tightness in the legs and the lower back. And then coming back into stretching the hamstring. If you have a block or a brick, you can put them under your hands here. And then coming back into the low lunge. And then one more time, just rotating back, taking the chest towards the leg here. And then bringing that left leg back to meet the right, bringing the right leg up. walking the right leg out to the side of the mat. And then stretching through the hips and the pelvis. Again, you can keep your palms on the ground, or you can raise up onto your fingertips or onto a block. And then stretching the hamstring as we pull the toes back towards the face. Low lunge again. And then one more time, we're going to come back and stretch the hamstring. And then bringing the hands forward, walking the foot back in the center and taking the right foot back to meet the left, coming back into tabletop position. It's going to come into a wide-legged child's pose, but this time we're going to take our arms through the center underneath our body and our bottom. You can place the forehead on the ground here, or you can place the left cheek or the right cheek onto the mat. This just takes the pressure off the spine and the discs. It just creates some space in between each vertebrae. Breathing deeply here, filling up that rib cage. One more deep breath. And then on the exhale, we're going to slowly roll up and out of child's pose. Finding our neutral spine. I'm just going to do some bird dogs and bringing the elbow to meet the knee. So right arm out long, left leg out long, and then the elbow touches the knee as it comes underneath the body. And do this 5 times on each side. We're going for elongation here, not height. As we change over to the other side, this time right leg goes long, left arm goes long, and then bringing the elbow in to meet the knee. Stretching our arm and our leg out as long as we can. And then coming back to neutral spine. And we're just going to do some circles with our hips. Great big circles, round one way, back the other way. Just allowing our spine to settle a little. And then coming into the seated position. And lay down onto our back. I'm just going to place our hands under the small of our back and take one leg long as we lift our shoulders up off the earth and kind of crunch our abdominals. This is called a safety crunch. So making sure we're supporting that lower back with our hands just underneath it. I'm going to do 8 on each side. Maintaining the cycle of breath in this move is very important. So just go at your own pace, and then changing legs. So we're sort of crunching up onto our elbows, which are supporting the body and that lower back. We're holding this pose for about 20 seconds. And then very gently, we're going to raise our knees up and take them straight over to the opposite side, taking our gaze in the opposite direction, making sure our shoulders are on the ground. We don't want to see them lifting up. So if you can't get your knees all the way over, just go as far as you can without lifting the shoulders off the ground. You can close down the eyes. Just breathe into this pose. And then gently rolling the legs up and to the other side. We're going to do it one more time on each side. Hopefully you can feel it starting to loosen in that lower spine, that lower back area. Quietening the mind, making sure we're not going through that list of activities that we need to get done for the day. Just really switching off and allowing yourself this time and space to do your yoga practice today and really work on this lower back, especially if it's something that you struggle with. This is a beautiful practice to help loosen up that lower spine, the muscles around it. And then bringing the legs back to center. Just giving them a gentle squeeze. Don't bring the knees all the way in this time. Just letting the body relax. And then lifting the head off the earth. Just going to alternate legs. Just gently squeezing each knee. And then sending it long. Squeezing the other knee. Staying really relaxed through the torso and the neck and the shoulders. And then we're coming into Savasana. With our Savasana, you can keep the legs long today. It was a little bit too much for my back, so I'm going to do Savasana with my feet wide on the mat and the knees have fallen in to meet each other in the center. And this just helps keep my back flat on the mat. Face the palms up if you want to attract more abundance today. Otherwise, you can face them down if you're feeling a little bit of anxiety or anxious. Just to can face them down and feel a little bit more grounded to your body. So whatever you're feeling today. Then closing down the mind, quietening the thoughts, relaxing the face, releasing all that tension, releasing the cheekbones, maybe dropping the tongue away from the roof of the mouth, relaxing the jaw, the neck, the throat, relaxing our shoulders, our chest, our arms, our abdomen, relaxing and sending extra love to that lower back today. Relaxing our bottom, our hamstrings, our glutes, our knees. Relaxing our calves, our shins, our ankles, and our toes. Just letting it all go, surrendering and melting into the earth. Feeling that calming energy flood over you. Just taking a couple of deep breaths. Before we bring some movement back into the body, bringing your awareness back within yourself. Taking a moment to honor yourself and coming from a place of gratitude that you have this time and space that you've gifted to yourself today. And what an honor that is. That's self-love at its best. Maybe just doing a little stretch. Stretching the arms, stretching the hands. And when you're ready, we're going to come into the fetal position on one side. Just resting for a moment before coming into the seated position. I'm just going to do one last movement with our back here. So just resting the hands gently on the knees, taking our chest up towards the sky, bending our head backwards, and then curling our spine as we dip our head forward, getting this beautiful curvature in the spine, then reversing it back the other way, sticking the chest out, and then going in the opposite direction, pulling right back on those hands, just flowing through this motion a couple of times at your own pace. And then when you're ready, just coming back to the seated position, nice and tall. You're going to take a deep breath in, raising our arms above our head, bringing our hands to prayer position as we come down to third eye. May we have kind and loving thoughts today. Bringing our hands to our mouth. May we speak kind and loving words today. As we take our hands to our heart space, may we have kind and loving intentions today. I hope you find some beautiful movement through that lower back today and you have less pain after this practice. Namaste.